Hi everyone. Today I thought I'd have a look at some of the torches which were in the old days referred to as penlights. Simple reason being that the majority of them had a clip on them which would be reminiscent of a pen, and obviously used to be kept in your top pocket when people wore blazers and jackets like that. They were very popular in the early days, so I thought I'd have a look at some of them. Not all of these are different. I'll go through them. Some work, some don't. Some have had a battery in them which needs relieving. This one does. This one's probably one of the modern ones. Unfortunately, the battery was left in. My own fault. I thought I had one of these ones which was sealed, but unfortunately it isn't. You've got the little bulb at the end. But I thought today we'd just go through some of them and mention the names of them. As far as I know, these are mainly English, although this one is called Tilex, but I believe Tilex is some type of medicine because it's got capsules on there. Doctors would often use these to check the eyes to see whether the pupil closed up on light stimulation. But that's what they use it for. Now this one, as I say, is a fairly modern one. Let's have a look at some other ones. I mentioned the name yesterday when I done that miner's torch or lamp, safety lamp, was made by a company called Concordia. And I noticed I've got two penlights here which are also made by the same company. They're exactly the same. They would be exactly the same if I picked the right ones up. Well, these are made by a company called Concordia. I'm going to put a bit of light on the subject, it always helps. There we are, Concordia. Both of those use a lens end bulb and a penlight cell, which they used to be called, which is a double A, I believe, to give the modern name. Yeah, double A. It's that size. Years ago it was called a penlight size, but I'm going back to just after the war. Anyhow, the most popular ones that you would see, not so much now, but you did at the time, was these type. Got three of them there. These are all the same. Two have the lamps in, the other one the lamp is out, because I want to show you later just what the lamp's like, because these had a special bulb which fitted in. They were made by a company called Eveready. Now that is the British Eveready company. It was the Eveready Specialities Company, to give the full name. A very old established company. I don't know if we can see the name on the side here, but there is a name on there. Eveready. It might show itself up. I'm just hoping I haven't put it in upside down. I don't think I have. Eveready. And the cases were made of brass, so they'd never ever rust. Take them apart, you would just, like a bayonet fitting. I'll get it in the right place. You've got a bayonet fitting and that clips on, and it takes two them in the right way round. Takes 2 of that size. Double it. It probably won't work because this is just demonstration. No, it won't work. No bulb in there, because it won't. There, that shows you how it goes in. Double A's. So these were, as I say, quite a popular torch of the time. Probably one of the first Penlights, but I will stand to be corrected. You also had this model, which was chromed, and it was made by a company called Drydex. There aren't Drydex on there. Well, Drydex was a company which was associated with Eveready. They also had their name stamped on lamps. When I say lamps, there's these small torch bulbs, Drydex. They were also associated with a company called Chloride, which made quite a few different types of batteries and accumulators. The car batteries used were often made by Chloride, and at that time they included the name Exide, which was a very famous name. I believe this too is also, if I can get the name up, I know I've got 2 of these by, yeah, that's Drydex. The name is actually stamped on the metal Drydex. So exactly the same torch, except these were chromed and the other one wasn't. That's your dry that. I'll go over the bulbs later. I don't think I've showed this one. This is a modern one, very modern, made by a very old company, Pifco. When I say Pifco, they were like importer. They often in the old days imported stuff made in Hong Kong. Sometimes the stuff was branded Empire made. It was generally thought of as being a cheaper range of stuff. This one uses the AAAs, which will go in there. I won't take them out, but uses AAAs. Turn the end, and through a lens end lamp. I'll show what a lens end lamp is then, and just turn it again. It goes off. So you have to turn it one direction. It's like the American lamp switches on the holders. You only turn them one way. Tell the light, well, it prefers to go one way. It's not particularly good, but it not carefully unscrews. So that's the one made by Pifco's. These were probably sold to the doctors and that, because it is a modern one. It's not old, but I say it's not old. It's not ancient. Now we've got this one, which unfortunately I have no information on whatsoever. It uses, and the bulb is not in there at the moment because I've got it out. It uses a lamp or a torch bulb which is solid glass. It's a solid lamp. I'll talk more about that at the end. You've got your on off, and at the end screw in. This is very well made. It's got a designation on the end. If anyone can make sense of it, good luck, but I can't see an actual maker. It is well made. It looks like it's possibly brass, plated again, chromium plated. The end comes off and the bulb would screw in there. They're all screw-in lamps, miniature Edison screws, and that is a protector to prevent the lamp getting broken. Once again, very old. I don't know the age. It could even be pre-war. When I say war, this is the Second World War. More than likely. Have we had a look at that one, I wonder? Now this one is a mystery. I don't even know how you turn it on. I presume it's... This is a mystery one. It's not the one I took the bulb out of, I don't think. Ah, yeah, that's too has a bulb holder inside, which would go in and press in. I think you'll find that also uses the solid type bulb, but how you turn it on, I don't know. It's one of those little mysteries. It might be just by pressing the clip down, and that makes contact with the outer, which would be on the negative side of the battery. So that's, I'd imagine, how that is done. This is similar to these other ones I showed, which I never mentioned. That would turn it on and off, or it would only be on while you held it in. Done by the clip. Yep, that's that one. I think I've looked at all of them and tried to make an explanation. Before I go, I will show you the type of bulbs that were used. I put them in a testing device. Funny enough, lots of shops when I was young, particularly Woolies, which is Woolworths, I'd go in there and each section would have various bits and bobs, and the electrical section would have your bulbs either made by Sunshine or Vesta. They were the two names that they used. They were made by one of the other lamp manufacturers, but they were made to be single coil, whereas the other manufacturers made coil. Coil lamp in those days was a slightly brighter, but nevertheless Woolworths lamps were quite well made, and they had the single coil. After the war they made some lamps using the envelopes of valves, and they were valve shaped. I think I've got one somewhere. If it comes to mind, I will put it up. It was valve shape, low wattage, about 25 watts, but not going to go too much into there. Now let me show you this lamp. This is a solid lamp, solid glass. Try to get it in the best. You won't see any filaments because the filament is actually down below. We'll turn it on. Using the battery or bulb tester. It's on 1.5 volts. Very, very unusual. Solid bulb, but the filament is at the base. It's solid. The bits you can see are completely solid, but on the base it does in fact open up with the tiny filament. The filament of course is not in the glass, it's in the base. It's done as a one unit, but as I say, you occasionally see these. Very rare today though, and you'd never ever be able to buy one newly made. They probably wouldn't know how to make them. So that is the solid glass. Now the other one they use, I'll screw it into the holder. This was a lamp that was used in that type of torch. It went in the end, it would go in the end, and being flat it wouldn't get broken because it would actually be slightly below the end of the lamp, and as you can see, it's flat. The filament you won't be able to see on here, I don't think, because the definition is probably not that good, but we can light it up and have a look at the shape of the filament. It's non-coiled, it's a straight wire. When I say straight, it's not coiled, and hopefully the shape will show itself. It's an S. The filament is in the form of an S, or very roughly in the form of S, and these were called S bulbs in the early days. This one I think is rated at about 2.5 volts, so it would go a little bit brighter but not much brighter. And as you can see, the filament is non-coiled. It's just a straight piece of wire of tungsten, piece of tungsten, non-coiled, and that's the flat bulb. It's flat. The last bulb we'll look at, which is also used in certain ones of these Penlight torches, is the lens end. See if we can light it up, and we can. Aptly named because lens end, they've got a lens which is built into the actual bulb itself. Normal screw in again, MES, miniature Edison screw. Don't ask me what the number is. Can't remember numbers, I'm number blind. But it's MES, miniature Edison screw. And there's the bulb, and that would have fitted into certain ones of these Penlight torches. Anyway, I think I've covered it all. As I say, I did mention that this contraption was often seen in the old shops that sold lamps, bike stuff, where you would need to test a battery, and they were used, as I say, to quickly test the battery. In those days they would test the battery, and if it was working you'd get it, if it wasn't it was thrown in the bin. But of course today everything's pre-packed in little boxes, and there's no need for these. I've got two of them, the other one's there. The other one's there. Basically the same. They clip across the battery and they just test that it's working. Anyhow, I hope I haven't sent you all to sleep. Just a little look at the Penlight torches. They were, as I say, mainly British, but I'm sure other countries made them as well. Hope I've explained certain things. I think I might have done. Hope I have. Lay the bulbs out there. They're the type of bulbs that I went over. So once again, thanks for looking. Any comments please make. Please subscribe, and I'll find something else to put up. Might be a digital clock. Just received one in the post, so I might be putting that up next. So thanks again for watching. Thank you.